Hello, it is Nationwide on NTA. My name is Sokoto. A very good afternoon and welcome. President Bola Tinubu has performed lesser pilgrimage in Makkah with prayers for a much greater and peaceful Nigeria. State House correspondent Musbao Dan Wahab reports that this was after the president's official engagements in Riyadh at the South Africa Summit and in Saudi-Nigeria Business Roundtable.
President Bola Tinubu, for the second time in less than a year, was back in the Kaaba, considered in Islam as the holiest site and house of God. His previous visit was weeks before his election, and yet again he was here after victories of election and the attendant litigations. For this moment, the toga of presidency was aside as the Nigerian #1 joined other Muslims here as ordinary as possible before God. President Tinubu and his team of governors, ministers and other rays performed the 7th circuit circumambulation of the Holy Kaaba, ending with a two-standing prayer. In the other part of the rite, the Nigerian leader also performed the ritual of walk between the two hills of Safa and Marwa, symbolic of life struggle. This culminated in a special prayer. Pilgrimage is a religious obligation craved by Muslims, but this one is from a grateful heart.
I am grateful to God for His guidance, His blessings, and His answers to my prayers and the country's prayers for good of all. We have to give thanks to Him at every opportunity that we may have.
But beyond personal gratitude for the President and his team, there is certainly no better opportunities to pray God for a much greater Nigeria in peace, stability, and prosperity.
Your Excellency, what prayer did you say for Nigeria?
For the country, may our prosperity grow and our humanity be kind to each and every one of us. The prospect of the country is yet to blossom to the level that we require. It needs hard work and consistent prayer, and we are giving it to our mind and our spirit in every way possible. Our strength is our diversity, and we'll continue to build on that for the prospect and sake of the country.
This first speaks volumes about the kind of president we have. Somebody who is deeply faithful in God, who is deeply thankful about what God has done to his life and what has God done to our country.
Before you can achieve anything in life, you have to commit it into the hands of God. And whatever you commit to his hands, you know it is safe and sure. So praying for Nigeria at this particular point in time is very important. It's inevitable.
With rapt attention, the statesmanly prayers, his usual leadership prayers for Nigeria across the board, being very conscious of our diversity, which he hopes to be a source of our strength, and of course the vision for Nigeria in terms of trying to unlock the potentials of the country across the board, devoid of any sentiments or rancor or division. And I have prayed for Nigeria and for him as a leader, because once you pray for a leader, you are praying for the people.
This rite rounded off the president's bilateral and investment drive to Saudi Arabia with hopes of a greater deal for Nigeria in trade relations. From Makkah, Musbao Dan Wahab, NTA News.
The world is beginning to notice Nigeria's readiness to take its rightful and respected place with the current momentum being created to revitalize the country's economy. This is a common reaction to Nigeria's outing to the Saudi Africa Summit, which also saw President Bola Tinubu lead his team to a Saudi-Nigeria roundtable meeting with the Saudi Arabian investors on the margins. Members of the Nigerian delegation to Riyadh, including governors, ministers and captains of industries, say the leadership being provided by the president is beginning to change the perception about Nigeria amongst the Committee of Nations.
We are very, very happy yet again that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is being acknowledged around the world in terms of the visions he has taken, in terms of the statesmanship he is showing, in terms of being, in spite of Nigeria's president now being the chief marketing officer of Nigeria, meeting leaders of countries who have been expressing confidence in him.
Mr. President has so very eloquently and productively passed the message of the fact that Nigeria is open for business. And Mr. President had clearly pointed out that he's a free economy man, and he is open, obviously, to free movement of capital in and out. So if any organization or business wants to invest in Nigeria, they can do so with their investment, and they can leave with their investment at any time they so wish. So it is a very, very positive development for Nigeria.
He has unbundled Nigeria. He has rekindled hope and confidence in Nigeria and Nigerians by sheer discussion on a frank and positive manner. And of course, the Saudi investors at the highest level have also shown that they have confidence in Nigeria after pouring some of their misgivings, their apprehensions and their fears. And after all these apprehensions were allayed,
they believed the improved relations would also benefit the subnationals when it materializes.
There was collaboration in agriculture. Now, Niger State serves as the state for the first pilot scheme because of our closeness to the FCT, bodies of water for irrigation. We have 4 hydropower dams that are currently functional. We have bodies of stream and water. We have both River Niger and River Benue. We are the largest producers of shea nuts and also paddy rice in Nigeria. So this is a very good opportunity and avenue for us to showcase ourselves, which we've done, and we have got interested collaboration.
We in Katsina State, we have also keyed into this initiative. We have also launched an Ease of Doing Business committee in my state, so that it can allow investors to freely come into our state and be able to invest in many areas. The major areas of the strength of my state are in the area of mineral resources. We have a lot of deposit of lithium, gold, diamond and uranium, and we also have potentials in agriculture.
And now to election matters. INEC has declared the incumbent governor of Bayelsa State and the governorship candidate of the PDP, Senator Doye Diri, as the winner of the November 11th, 2023 off-cycle elections in Bayelsa. Doye Diri won with 175,196 votes to win his closest rival, Chief Timipre Silva of the APC, with 110,108 votes. Now, in the Kogi State off-cycle governorship election, Professor Johnson Ozuemenam Urama, the INEC returning officer, declared Usman Ahmed Ododo of the All Progressives Congress, APC, as the winner. He secured a total of 446,237 votes, defeating his closest rival, Yakubu Murtala Ajaka of the SDP, who garnered 259,052 votes. Correspondent Solomon Ayede reports that the electoral process has been acknowledged as peaceful and credible.
Officer for the Kogi State off-cycle governorship election, Professor Johnson Ozuemenam, who also serves as the Deputy Vice-Chancellor Academic at the University of Nigeria, Nsukka, declared Usman Ahmed Ododo of the APC as the winner of the governorship election. This declaration followed the signing and collection of results by various party agents present.
Ahmed Usman Ododo of APC
having satisfied the requirements of the law, is hereby declared the winner and is returned elected.
At the government house in Lokoja, joy filled the air as critical stakeholders in the Kogi State government and party loyalists gathered to celebrate with Governor Yahaya Bello. The display of victory unfolded when Governor Yahaya Bello and the governor-elect expressed satisfaction with the election's outcome. Governor Bello congratulated the people of the state for supporting the APC and speaking with one voice by voting for Usman Ahmed Ododo. He commended INEC and the security agencies for ensuring a peaceful and credible election in Kogi, emphasizing that this process signifies peace, unity, and further development for the state.
I didn't disappoint you, and I am confident that the governor-elect and the deputy governor-elect will not disappoint you.
APC governor-elect Usman Ahmed Ododo characterized his success at the polls as a victory for the completion of Ajaokuta Steel and the overall development of the state.
Election has come and gone. I pledge to serve and to lead with accountability, transparency, and inclusivity.
People of the state, the peaceful nature of the exercise will not be taken for granted. Governor-elect Usman Ahmed Ododo is set to be sworn in on January 27, 2024. In Lokoja, Solomon Ayedehi, NTA News.
Former President Muhammadu Buhari has congratulated the All Progressives Congress APC on winning the governorship elections in Imo and Kogi states and thanked the people of the two states for reaffirming their confidence in the nation's biggest political party. In a statement via his spokesperson Garba Shehu, the former president thanked particularly the party leaders and the workers who labored tirelessly to ensure the re-emergence of Senator Hope Udozima for his second term in Imo and Alhaji Usman Ododo as the new governor of Kogi State. And to other matters now, the Police Service Commission staff monitors deployed to Kogi, Imo and Bayelsa states say policemen on election duty were courageous and fairly contained intermittent cases of attempts to hijack the elections. A statement by the Commission notes that police officers in several polling units visited were said to be cautious. Although there were incidents of attacks on voting units, some arrests were recorded in many places, especially in Kogi State. The police were said to have also contained pockets of attacks in Brass and some other locations in the riverine areas of Bayelsa State. There were, however, reports of vote buying in the three states, but without the connivance of police officers on election duties. Meanwhile, Chairman of the Commission, Dr. Solomon Arase, who monitored the exercise in Kogi, commended the three Deputy Inspectors General of Police who supervised police operations in the three states for their quick responses to the Commission's intermittent requests for police intervention in troubled areas. Dr. Arase calls on the force to remain on guard and prepared to forestall any breakdown of law and order after the announcement of the election results, and directed that in few places where there were pockets of police misconduct, the police management should quickly investigate and forward its recommendations to the Commission for immediate disciplinary action. And now guests on Good Morning Nigeria have reiterated the need for audits of the off-cycle elections to mitigate recurring concerns and identified malpractices in some locations across Bayelsa, Kogi and Imo states. The guests uploaded visible improvements by the Independent National Electoral Commission on logistics, but frowned at unruly behaviors of some political actors. Lydia Sampson reports.
Despite an overall seemingly peaceful process compared to the palpable tension before the elections, pockets of recurring events, guests on Good Morning Nigeria say, must be tackled once and for all. These, according to them, include issues around vote buying, voter apathy occasioned by the fundamental problem of some elected officials not delivering on campaign promises.
Is this argument, when you look at the voter register, does it depict the reality of today? Because we've only been registering people to cast their ballot, but we've never audited. we've never cleaned up the register, and this is one of the gaps and lessons that were taken out of this election.
I think the other stakeholders involved in the election are not doing their role in terms of the election. You don't leave everything in the hands of INEC. There are lots of ballot papers that were not used, and that is money that was spent in preparing for those materials for people to come out and cast their vote.
They also decried nonchalant attitude of young eligible voters, reiterating the need for a more proactive voter education across the country.
That the first thing to do is for the call out the National Assembly to look at the Electoral Offences Commission, because we really need that like yesterday. People are committing electoral offences and they're not being prosecuted. Even those that are being prosecuted is taking a lot of time. But if you have an Electoral Offences Commission that takes care of those electoral issues, we will begin to see the big names being prosecuted, and that can be some kind of deterrence to people who want to perpetuate those kind of crimes on the field.
The guests believe with sustainable engagements, in addition to all stakeholders playing their part, the multi-sectoral nature of elections will be escalated to achieve credible elections. They are emphatic that those found culpable in compromising the electoral process be brought to book. In Abuja, Lydia Sampson, NTA News.
Away from election matters, the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, was established to eradicate illicit drug trafficking and consumption in Nigeria. With increase in cases of illicit drug activities on the streets of Lagos, the agency says the need to intensify its resolve to curb the menace of hard drug peddling and use in the state becomes imperative.
Major cities, particularly in Lagos, are free buyers and sellers of illicit drugs and psychoactive substances. The substances range from rofinol, marijuana, methamphetamine, heroin, cocaine, Colorado, opioids, and tramadol. The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA Lagos Command, recently made several seizures of illicit narcotics in various parts of the state. And in the last 1 year, the street value of drugs seized is in excess of 500 billion naira, with Ikorodu suburb of Lagos alone accounting for 200 billion naira worth of captured illicit substances.
They've met with the governor to tell the governor about this, and the wife of them, I'm sure, is involved within is raising the awareness amongst women, and also going to the local, going to traditional chiefs, and I think they've gone to the religious bodies as well, just to propagate the dangers that we face as a nation in terms of this substance abuse.
So NTLA too, they have shown this effort by extending collaborations and partnerships to organizations, to countries.
Besides the revamped efforts of the NDLEA, stakeholders are unanimous that the war against drugs must be intentional. In Lagos, Joel Okbola, NTA News.
We now join Hingino for more updates on the menace of drug peddling in the states. Hingino, what more can you tell us?
Thank you, Ogochukwuka. Just like you heard from that report, the problem of drug trafficking is multifaceted, and I'm standing at the Lagos State Command Office of the NDLEA, one of the operational offices of in Lagos State. If you look at Lagos State, Lagos is a coastal state. Because of the nature of the state, it serves as an entry point for most of these illicit substances, and at the same time it serves as an exit for the drugs. And being mindful of this, the NDLEA is working tirelessly to address this problem. You look at the land borders, the drugs coming through the land borders, the seaports, the airport. And the NDLEA says it's not resting on its oars to fight this problem. That is why it has made series of arrests. Like an example is the one in August. The agency seized drugs worth billions of naira at the Trade Fair International market at Alaba. And I have with me the State Commander, Lagos State Command of the NDLEA, Mr. Umar Isa Adoro, who will tell us more about what the agency is doing to fight this problem. Thank you for joining us on Nationwide.
Thank you, NTA. You're welcome.
Okay, we've seen series of arrests concerning drug problem. Now, talking about people are concerned about rehabilitation. It's not just enough to arrest. What is the agency doing about rehabilitation?
That's a beautiful one. The agency is actually doing a lot in areas of rehabilitation. We have 36 states plus federal capital, and in each of those states that make the Federation of Nigeria, we have in all the commands at least a rehabilitation center attached to every state command. So going by that, you see that we have we have been involved into counseling of drug victims or those that are taking drugs in almost all the states of the federations. Lagos State is one of the areas that we also have such facilities. We have trained professionals. We have enough staff that are able to, that can counsel, integrate all those that are drug dependent until a successful counseling and integration back to their society, to their family. So this is one of the areas that NDLA is doing a lot. Apart from that, you can see of recent now the NDLA website is very, very rich. We have 24 hours service that people can always be there, contribute. Apart from that, we have opened some online counseling that people can also call in 24 hours and then speak with a professionals and get advice without necessarily going to any facilities to avoid maybe being victimized or maybe stigmatized. We also draw a lot of programs on weekly basis. We bring in professionals, make a media link, and then people can actually support us, collaborate, make comments, make observations, and even make valid criticisms in order to move the country forward. So a lot is actually being done in the areas of the rehabilitation and counseling, be it in various drug offices or NDLA formations, or maybe through the social media.
Okay, despite series of arrests, there are concerns that the cases of drug trafficking and abuse are on the increase. What is the command doing differently to arrest this?
It is interesting to know that, especially in Lagos Command, between January to September, October, we have made arrests of almost 90 tons of various illicit drugs. In October, we have almost 2 tons that we made arrest. And even last week, I think we were able to bust a warehouse.
Sincere apologies there. We seem to be having some technical challenges there. We'll now move on. More than 8 million applicants across Nigeria are to benefit from the latest United African States UAAG grant. UAAG Country Director Ken Wakama made this known after compilation of physical screening of applicants in Abuja. Joseph Hossein reports.
Filled in this hall are heads of non-governmental organizations, cooperative society groups, and entrepreneurs from different parts of Nigeria. They are applicants for the United African States UAAG grant.
We have crossed the Red Sea.
UAAG Grant Country Director Ken Mwakama gives a cheering news that the grant is approved and ready for disbursement.
Our project is to reach all the states in Nigeria, all the 36 states including FCT. So all of them has applied, and we are vetting them. By the mercy of God, we will do the right thing. Everyone that applies has everything we need, we'll get it.
The grant is one of the United African States projects supporting infrastructure and manpower development in the region.
In these 10 days, we had intensive screening exercise for all the NGOs, cooperatives, and company owners. We want to know if we don't have ghost personnel among these people. So the
Quick Evan, and will be sworn in 2024 February 14 as the governor. With me is a party faithful. His name is Elvis Donkumizo. Let's ask him how the whole thing has been, because there's been a lot of jubilation from party stalwarts and supporters of the PDP. Sir, how do you feel your party winning the election this time around?
Well, I feel quite excited and quite humbling for the overwhelming support the governor got from the entire Ijaw nation, length and breadth. People from Arugbo to eastern Obono in Akwa Ibom, Arugbo in Ondo State are all here. Kingsley Kuku, Gerard Shooter side, people of all caliber on sundry are all here in solidarity for the governor re-election. This alone should humble the governor, and that he should ensure that he unifies the Ijaw nation to move forward in terms of the developmental plans he has. Like you all know, I'm a technical advisor to the governor on business development. We will be rolling out the developmental plan that we have already talked about during the campaign that will revigorate and reposition Bayelsa as a global business hub.
Thank you so very much. Like you rightly said, a lot of persons have come from neighboring states or across the Ijaw nation. What would you say is responsible for this great support given to the governor?
It's the governor's disposition, the governor's character, and his humility, his humbling dispositions, and then again his peaceful policies and tendencies. You know, Bayelsa had been an epic center for a long time for youth restlessness and what have you. But within the last 4 years, the governor has been able to unify the people. And
we also apologize for the loss of audio there. We just saw live footages from Bayelsa State where Ebinimi was speaking with some citizens on the re-election of Doyediri as governor of that state. Thank you so much. And now we return to our earlier story where we told you that more than 8 million applicants across Nigeria are to benefit from the latest United African States UAAG grant. The country director, Ken Wakama, made this known after compilation of physical screening of applicants in Abuja. Joseph Hossein is there.
Filled in this hall are heads of non-governmental organizations, cooperative society groups, and entrepreneurs from different parts of Nigeria. They are applicants for the United African States UAAG grant.
We have crossed the Red Sea.
UAAG grant country director Ken Mwakama gives a cheering news that the grant is approved and ready for disbursement.
Our project is to reach all the states in Nigeria, all the 36 states including FCT. So all of them has applied, and we are vetting them. By the mercy of God, we will do the right thing. Everyone that applies has everything we need, we'll get it.
The grant is one of the United African States projects supporting infrastructure and manpower development in the region.
In these 10 days, we had intensive screening exercise for all the NGOs, cooperatives, and company owners. We want to know if we don't have ghost personnel among these people. To the glory of God, the screening was successful.
These are people we expect our NGOs to reach out to, but give them a certain amount of money that can turn their life around, most especially the rural areas. So a recipient is a beneficiary, while a bundle represents 1,000 recipients. Will affect at least 8 million Nigerians.
One of the major challenges we are having today in this country is abject poverty and a decay in our infrastructure. That is what this program is tailored to us to solve.
I'm going to use it to run as a charity home for people. If I can run my school for charity, I know it's going to be the best, because I myself did not pay a dime at the level of my education.
From the pages of my heart.
With high hopes, these prospective beneficiaries could not hold back and sang praises to God for His grace. In Abuja, Joseph Utsen, NTA News.
Another boat that capsized in Ibi, local government area of Taraba State along River Benue, has claimed the lives of 10 fishermen. The incident, which occurred halfway into Benue State, Anyeshi village, was conveying fishermen from Taraba State in search of livelihood. Governor Agbu Kefas, in a press statement by his media aide Emmanuel Bello, expressed concern over the increasing cases of boat mishaps in the state. Similar boat mishap occurred a few weeks ago, claiming some lives. We now go over to Lagos once more, where Adeola is standing by for more reports.
Thank you, Ogachukuka. Road users have again been reminded to ensure their vehicles are in good working condition with all the needed equipment fixed before embarking on a journey this festive period. This concerned stakeholders re-echoed at an awareness campaign tagged "Don't Drink and Drive" in Lagos. Diana Ajale reports.
Towards the end of every year, people engage in travels for the Yuletide, and to ensure that overspeeding, overloading, nonchalant attitude of drivers to traffic rules and regulations, with the intake of alcoholic drinks while driving, which have been identified as some of the factors responsible for road traffic crashes, are reduced to the barest minimum. The Don't Drink and Drive campaign has been taken a notch higher. Drive responsibly. And why many individuals are curious about meeting up with their set goals as the year comes to an end. Safety of lives and property is therefore imperative.
In my own way, when I want to drive, I always relax my mind and focus in where I'm going to.
Say I want to make more money, then I rescue my life, and I end up, I cannot be able to train my family.
Don't Drink and Drive Ember Month campaign took the organizers to major motor parks, with Ojota Motor Park as the first port of call.
At this critical period, please, if you are going to be on the road, ensure that you have your valid driver's license, you maintain your vehicle, stay away from the use of phone while driving.
Other parks visited include the ever-busy Oshodi Motor Park and Beggar Inward Park, with the message, "Drink and driving don't go together."
The idea behind the Don't Drink and Drive campaign is to advocate for responsible drinking. So as telling our drivers, please, when you commute, when you drive people, try and be cautious.
Stakeholders believe that frequent public enlightenment remains a vital tool to reducing road traffic crashes on Nigerian roads. In Lagos, Diana Ajale, NTA News.
The 37th Lagos International Trade Fair came to a close at the Trade Fair grounds, Tafawa Balewa Square, with the organizers, Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry LCCI, assuring that it will not relent in boosting economic development of a state at all times. Larry Belei, who was at the closing ceremony, has the details.
The closing ceremony of the 10-day Lagos International Trade Fair committed to a Lagos Day event. Speaking on the theme, Navigating Economic Challenges, Forging a Path to Prosperity, the President, Lagos State Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Michael Olawale Ko, expressed satisfaction with this year's trade fair, describing it as a mark of an enduring legacy of LCCI's over a century and 30 decades of existence.
Connecting businesses creating value. This thing underlines the importance of relationships and networking among businesses for wealth creation, also for trade partnerships. and for productivity growth.
While declaring the fair closed, Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu represented assured that the state government will continue to create a business-enriching environment through infrastructure and entrepreneurial empowerment programs that will boost a vibrant private sector.
I understand how important they are to achieving the job responsibility of government, which is facilitating a friendly environment for living and ease of doing business.
Goodwill messages from top government functionaries and captains of industry echoed the conviction of the state government. The Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry used the opportunity to recognize bodies for their support in making this year's fair a success. Notably, among them is the Lagos State government. In Lagos, Larry Bilayi, NTA News.
And from Lagos, we'll be handing you over to Nana in a Sokoto Network Center after this time out. We'll take a break to stay.
Everyone, you're still watching Nationwide. Welcome to Sokoto. Following the signing of electricity law that empowers states to generate, transmit, and distribute power, Sokoto State government is investing 1 billion naira as take-off funds for the generation of 5 megawatts of electricity from the Goronyo Dam hydroelectric power project. To this end, officials of the Ministry of Energy, Sokoto State, alongside some potential investors, have visited the dam site for feasibility studies. Lalata Abdullahi has more.
Goronyo Dam is one of the biggest in the country, managed by the Rima River Basin Development Authority under the Federal Ministry of Water Resources, and has the capacity to generate 25 megawatts of electricity. However, due to the fact that the dam was primarily constructed for irrigation purposes in Goronyo and its environs, now the state government is collaborating with the federal government to expand its use to generate 5 megawatts of electricity to make the state independent in power supply. The huge government investment is to generate sufficient and uninterrupted power capable of driving the economy, propelling industrial growth and prosperity in the state and the nation.
We need to harness the Goronyo Dam opportunity and make sure that we have stable power supply for our industrial growth and for our hospital growth, because we have both the health sectors, both the energy sector, both the educational sectors and both of the industrial sectors request this stable light.
Sokoto state government already has 35 megawatts capacity power plant, but is currently turning its attention to hydroelectric plant for its comparative advantages. In Sokoto, Dalhatu Abdullahi, NTA News.
Sokoto State Government and Sultanate Council have reaffirmed commitment to support Nigerian Television Authority to resuscitate the rich cultural heritage of the people of Sokoto State, to safeguard it from extinction and for the benefit of the present and future generations. This came to the fore at the maiden edition of the traditional festival organized by NTA Sokoto Network Center in collaboration with the Sokoto government. Bashir Ibrahim Nababa has more.
All the 23 local government councils in Sokoto State converged on the premises of NTA Sokoto Network Center for the epoch-making event. The two-day festival showcases rich customs, relics, agricultural produce, as well as cultural dances by the participants. While applauding the NTA management for the initiative, Governor Ahmed Aliu represented acknowledged that the organization, since its establishment, remained refutable in its conventional role of enlightening, educating and entertaining, as well as uniting the nation. Hence deserves all the necessary support from Sokoto State government to effectively serve people of Sokoto State.
I really admire the way you understand, they display their culture. You understand, all they need is just little, you understand, encouragement and advices.
Chairman of the occasion and former governor of Sokoto State, Senator Aliu Maga Takadawamako, represented, noted with satisfaction efforts of the organizers and performances of the contingent.
Wherever you go, they pick up what they brought and then say it's the best in the state. So it has created a sort of competition.
I sincerely appreciate all of you for making this history in this station.
Sabon Birni, Sokoto South, and Cape local governments emerged first, second, and third overall best in the festival. Similarly, prizes were presented to winners in 4 other categories, including all the participating local government councils. Sokoto, Bashir Ibrahim Nababa, NTA News.
Well, that's our contribution here in Sokoto. Nationwide will return in Abuja after this commercial break.
Thank you for staying tuned and to the last lap of the news. Confederation of APC support groups has urged organized labor to seek alternative resolution in settling its grievances rather than interrupting government businesses capable of sabotaging the economy. Director General of the support group, Mohammed Kailani, says this during a media briefing on the state of the nation. Abubakar Akwanga reports.
Wednesday before last was a sad commentary for the national president of NLC, Joseph Ajero, when he came under attacks by alleged thugs in Owerri, the Imo State capital. This action precipitated reactions leading to eventual protest at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport and other public space, grounding operations for hours. This, the Confederation of APC support groups condemned in strong terms.
The NSC should not assault to injury. The best way out of this alleged attack, the NSC president, is to exhaustively engage on a round-table discussion for an amicable solution.
The group commended President Tinubu's transformation agenda across sectors, especially in the oil and gas industry, which it says is yielding desired results.
Confederation of APC support groups and other well-meaning Nigerians who rise up to defend any concocted figments of imaginations, allegations against APC-led Ahmed Bola Tinubu government now and in the future.
Mohammed Kailani appreciates the patience of Nigeria in the face of current economic reality and lauded the present steps being taken to address challenges at all levels of governance. In Abuja, Abubakar Akwanga, NTA News.
Wife of Nasarawa State Governor Silifat Abdullahi Sule is engaging wives of local government chairmen and other women leaders in the state on the prospects of renewed hope agenda of the First Lady of Nigeria, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, which is aimed at improving the lives of rural women and the less privileged. Abigail Bashi has details.
It is an interactive session on how to take the message of the Renewed Hope initiative to the grassroots. Beyond the message, there are welfare packages designed for the less privileged and vulnerable women in the country. Wife of the governor, Silifat Abdullahi Sule, tasked wives of local government chairmen as well as overseers of development areas in the state who will serve as advocates and foot soldiers of the Renewed Hope initiative to get acquainted with the objectives of the scheme expected to improve lives of less privileged women and children in the country. She urged them to collaborate with the First Lady, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, for the program to be successful.
We want every woman to come out and support this program because this program is very important to us in Nasarawa State.
State Commissioner for Women Affairs Aisha Rufai says the cardinal pillars of the Renewed Hope initiative include agriculture, education, health, empowerment and social investment, with the overall objective of bringing succor to the vulnerable families in the country.
So this meeting is essentially for Her Excellency to introduce this initiative to you and to also seek your support for the initiative and for you to also go down and replicate it in your various local government and development areas.
While the interactive session ends, the advocacy continues to rekindle hope of Nigerian women for a better and prosperous future under the Renewed Hope initiative. In Lafia, Abigail Bashi, NTA News.
The federal government has earmarked over 500,000 hectares of irrigated land for this year's dry season farming to achieve its food sufficiency agricultural policy. Minister of Water Resources and Sanitation, Professor Joseph Utsef, stated this at the flag-off of 2023 dry season farming through irrigation in Edo State. Obehi Otoba Presai reports.
Inauguration of a newly constructed road project at Obayato, host community of the integrated farms of the Benin-Owena River Basin Authority, was the first official assignment performed by the minister. The minister and his team were also on a quick tour of the basin integrated farms, where various crops are cultivated and processed. He then inspected a drip system facility before proceeding to perform the ceremonial seed planting, signaling the flag-off of the dry season farming.
I want to appeal to all the communities and state governments to make available land to our river basins. We are providing the water that is being required for the dry season farming to our farmers and our commercial practitioners in line with the food security agenda of Mr. President.
2 hydrological yearbooks of data compiled from BOBDA's hydrological and meteorological stations in Edo, Delta, Ondo and Ekiti states were also officially presented to the public. The books, they say, are veritable tools for development.
We are in a position to collaborate efficiently with sister organizations in weather forecasting and trend analysis.
A stakeholders meeting to chart a new course for water supply and sanitation was also held. The minister's nationwide familiarization tour is not only to acquaint himself of their operation, but to know their challenges. This, the minister says, will help to profile solutions and initiate policies that will ensure better service delivery to the people. From Obayato in Benin City, Obehi Otoba Presai.
Thank you very much, Obehi. We now join Suleiman Musa for sports updates.
We begin with the Super Eagles. Super Eagles head coach Jose Pesiro has landed in Uyo, the Akwa Ibom state capital, getting ready for the Thursday's 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifier against Lesotho. Pesiro, accompanied by his foreign assistant Michael Moreira, Acacia Santos, and Vito Hugo, were warmly received by Bonin Young, the chairman of the Akwa Ibom State Football Normalization Committee, at the Victor Atta International Airport. As the team's camp officially opens on Sunday, Nigeria is scheduled to take on Lesotho on Thursday, November 16th at the Godswill Akpabio International Stadium in Uyo at 5 p.m. And to African continental football, South African side Mamelodi Sundowns have been crowned the first ever African Football League champions after a 2-second leg victory over Wydad Casablanca. The South African Premier Soccer League side sealed a 3-2 aggregate win to claim the top prize. Sundowns went into the home leg trailing 2-1 but turned the tie around thanks to goals from Peter Shalulile and Aubrey Modiba at the raucous Luftos Varsfield Stadium in Pretoria. And to tennis, Novak Djokovic will end the year as world number 1 for a record 8 times after he beat Holgeroni at the ATF finals in Turin, Italy. The 24-time Grand Slam champion overcame the Dane 7-6, 6-7, 6-3 in his opening green group match at the season-ending event on Sunday. Victory for Djokovic extends his winning run to 19 consecutive matches. The 26-year-old Serb won 3 slams in 2023 to set a men's record of 24 career major titles. With sport updates, Suleiman Musa, NTA News.
And that concludes Nationwide today. Thank you for watching. I am Ogoch Kuka. Ona.